Recently, on the Moonshots podcast, Elon Musk brought up the topic of abundance for all, driven by AI, intelligent, useful, capable humanoid robots, and the implications for every currently living human being.
So if you say like just the output of goods and services will be much greater. Like you just need to...
So profitability of companies go through the roof at some point. So the question becomes, is that taxed by the government? Is that then taxed by the government and redistributed as some level of income as a UHI or UBI? In other words, one of the questions is if in fact this future we hit massive productivity and massive profitability because we're dividing by zero. The cost of labor has gone to nothing. The cost of intelligence has gone to nothing. And we're still producing products and services faster and faster. So there's more profitability. Someone needs to be buying it. And someone needs to be able to have the capital to buy it. I mean, this is an important question to get thought through.
Yeah. Well, one like side recommendation I have is like, don't worry about like squirreling money away for retirement in like 10 or 20 years. It won't matter.
No.
Okay.
Either we're not going to be here, or
it just like you won't need to save for retirement. If any of the things that we've said are true, saving for retirement will be irrelevant.
The services will be there to support you. You'll have the home, you'll have the healthcare, you'll have the entertainment.
These comments from Elon Musk have got a lot of tongues wagging now. He did caveat with if what we've said is true, e.g. if AI is going to improve exponentially, so do humanoid robots. This was earlier in the podcast. If the cost of goods and services falls to near zero and humanity enters an era of abundance, then saving for retirement would be completely unnecessary. And this argument is logically sound. Personally, I don't think humanity entering an era of hyper-abundance is a matter of if, but when. At some point in the future, it seems inevitable to me that the cost of goods and services will fall to near zero and everyone will be able to have everything that they reasonably want. At which point, the whole concept of money becomes entirely meaningless. My question isn't around, does this happen? It's more around, what is the time frame? And my caveat is that despite the fact that I'm extremely confident this is where we're headed, I still continue to act, e.g. save and invest aggressively, as if this won't play out. And a portion of this clip actually came up recently on the PPD podcast.
Elon Musk and retirement. Rob, what page is that on? There it is, 14. Elon Musk says you can skip retirement savings in the age of AI. Not so fast. Okay, this is a Fox News story. Let's see how this story goes. Rob, if you want to play the clip first, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, one like side recommendation I have is like, don't worry about like squirreling money away for retirement in like 10 or 20 years. It won't matter.
Okay.
Either we're not going to be here, or
Can you expand on that a little bit?
You won't need to save for retirement. If any of the things that we've said are true, saving for retirement will be irrelevant.
the services will be there to support you. You'll have the home, you'll have the healthcare, you'll have the entertainment.
The way this unfolds is fundamentally impossible to predict because of self-improvement of the AI and the accelerating timeline.
Yeah, it's called singularity for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what goes happen. What happens after the event horizon? You know?
Exactly. You can never see past the black hole or the event horizon, the light cone.
I mean, Ray has the singularity out way too far. I mean, this is like the next what? What's your timeline for this?
We're in the singularity.
Well, we are in the singularity for sure.
Yeah.
We're in the midst of it right now for sure.
Yeah.
And it would just
we're in this beautiful sweet spot, which is
we're the roller coasters. We're just
exactly. That's a great analogy. It's like that feeling.
You're at the top of the roller coaster and you're about to go.
Yeah, but it's going to be a lot of G's when you
a lot of G's.
when you hit it.
Yeah. It's like feel like I don't have to just have courtside seats. I'm on the court.
Exactly.
And it still blows my mind. Sometimes multiple times a week.
Yeah.
So
you can pause it right
just when
there.
I think,
Jeff, your thoughts? Do you agree?
This is insane. He just said, look, we can't predict how this is going to go. So the next thing he says, or the thing before that is, don't save for retirement. We have no idea how this is going to look on the other side. So just say, screw it. The hell with it. Just trust us that this is going to go well and you're going to be taken care of.
Is that how you process it, that he's saying?
Some interesting pushback, I think, coming from PBD, but this reaction from the guest is slightly retarded. Musk did clearly caveat by saying, if any of the things we've said are true, then saving for retirement will be irrelevant, which is a logically sound argument. He didn't say, the things we have said are true, therefore saving for retirement will be irrelevant. The key caveat here was if. Now, personally, as I said, I think that the if is already answered. It's more just a matter of when. But what Musk says here, earlier in the discussion in the podcast, a couple of hours long. They're specifically talking about an age of abundance driven by improvements in AI, the cost of goods, labour and energy falling to near zero. And in that situation, of course, there will be no need to save for retirement if that situation comes to pass. I don't want to be too hard on the guest here. Maybe he just has a listening disability and you can't hear words like if any of the things we've said are true. Maybe he didn't hear that part, in which case I totally get it. But to be fair to Musk here, this was an if-then statement. My advice to everyone listening, however, regardless of what Musk thinks and regardless of what you think, I would strongly recommend acting as though we won't be entering an era of abundance. Because if you're off on the timing or the final outcome, probably better to have squirreled away something for your retirement than not.
Trust us that we'll figure it out.
He's saying trust us. This is all going to work the way we want it to work, and that you won't need to save for retirement. And then he also says we don't know how the hell it's going to work out. I mean, to me, this is completely insane.
I don't want to be too hard on bro. This appears to have been a hot take on a live podcast, although, if I'm being fair, in fact, yeah, let's do it. At the beginning of this segment, as soon as we heard the topic of Musk and retirement, somebody on one of these microphones scoffed. If that was the case, that would imply that the guests have actually been briefed ahead of time on the topics that would be coming up and would almost rehearse their opinions, in which case you'd really hope if you've heard this clip more than once, you would have paid attention. Let's just see. Could have been anyone scoffing, I guess. Although, if I had to bet, I think my money's on bro, which would suggest he'd already heard this clip and was prepared ahead of time to share his thoughts, in which case, why did he not listen to the if any of the things we said are true part?
Elon Musk and retirement. Rob, what page is that on?
You hear that? One more time.
Elon Musk and retirement. Rob, what page is that on?
Yeah, so moving on.
Brandon, you go first, and then I got a lot of thoughts on this.
Okay, go
Let
ahead,
me hear what
Brandon.
he says first.
Yeah, no, it's super reckless. I mean, I'm curious, like, how many times has Elon Musk been wrong? I know there's been a lot of them, but I mean, like, to put
That's
like,
worth $800 billion.
I know, but still, he's been wrong. He's made crazy predictions that he's been wrong about, like with timelines and everything. But like, look at the stakes that if he is wrong, like, I mean, people already don't save for retirement. So like, how many people are going to be influenced by that and say like,
Dude, this is killing me. We now have two guys on this panel who can't listen to words. Again, I'm going to quote directly. Elon said, if any of the things we've said are true, dramatic pause, saving for retirement will be irrelevant. Maybe this was the bro that scoffed earlier on. He does have a fair point. Most people already don't save for retirement. They're called retarded. And let's be honest, if anyone's going to hear anybody make a statement or a prediction like this and act on it in a way that will meaningfully affect them financially, they are not just retarded, but extremely so. What happened to taking personal responsibility? Man, how many people as a kid heard something along the lines of, you know, if your friend told you to jump off a building, would you do it? No. It seems like bro number one and bro number two both have a listening deficiency and a very interesting view about personal responsibility and ownership for our decisions. Even if Musk hadn't provided the important caveat, if any of the things we've said are true, if we just straight up said saving for retirement will be irrelevant in 10, 20 years, and anyone doesn't think through that and the implications and the what if I'm wrong, what if he's wrong, and then just decides not to save for retirement, they're a fuckwit. And I hate to have to say it, but if a fuckwit does fuckwit things, the fuckwit is responsible for doing fuckwit things.
oh yeah, screw it, I'm going to be able to have UBI in the future, so I'm not going to save for retirement. And then what if he's wrong? So
Okay,
it's
Pop,
super reckless.
where are you at?
So I'm literally building a company around this because I think that this is the single most important thing that the everyday American has to understand is happening right now. There is a arms race that is about to occur, which is there is artificial intelligence that is being built at hyper speed. And that artificial intelligence is being able to automate away tasks and eventually jobs at a very, very fast rate. Now, let me give you a couple of examples. How many software engineers now aren't writing code, they're just letting AI do it? I am invested in a lot of these companies. 50+% of the code being written inside these companies is written by AI. Now there is Claude Cowork. So now it can go and do a bunch of tasks that an entry-level employee could do. You're now starting to even see Elon in that same interview, or I'm sorry, he did an interview with the Cheeky Pint with Dwarkesh and one of the Carlson brothers. He kept saying, we think that Grok has a way to learn faster than all the other models, and he wouldn't say why. And so I started thinking about, because he kept mentioning Tesla, the Tesla model. And so I said, oh my God, he is basically going to have people just record their computer screen while they work, and they're going to use the machine learning to figure out how to do what you do. And so I tweeted that. Elon responded. I didn't tag him or anything. He responded. He said, pretty much. And so what's going to happen here is artificial intelligence is going to go put a bunch of people out of work. What I believe is the arms race is we have to race to harness artificial intelligence to make you money. Because basically what's going to happen here is if we do not harness the ability for artificial intelligence to make people money, in terms of you have capital, you give it to the artificial intelligence, it goes into the market, it makes you money. What is going to happen is you're going to be out of work, you're not going to have any capital, and you're going to not have a path because the machines can do a better job at anything that you do.
I'd say that Pomp is pretty much over the target here. I might disagree with some of the detail there, but in general, if today you are not utilizing AI in your professional life and also your personal life, you're fucking up big time. There's likely to be a period where some people in some professions doing some types of work will be able to harness AI to massively increase their productivity. How long that period of time lasts, I don't know, but at some point beyond that, I find it very unlikely that there'll be any human beings left that can do anything that AI can't do both better and faster. At which point, all bets are off and saving for retirement may in fact be optional, but I still continue to act as if that's not going to play out. The big question really is not if, it's just when. When do we enter this era of abundance? And Musk was right. The analogy of the singularity, shout out to Ray Kurzweil. The concept there is we can't really see beyond the event horizon, meaning we can't see the rate of progress, how quickly things happen, how dramatic AI is in terms of its improvements day over day, hour over hour. It becomes impossible to predict. Things are accelerating so much now. And when it gets to the point where AI can improve upon itself and iterate, make better models, and this accelerating feedback loop starts, things are going to get bonkers. The real question, are we talking days, weeks, months, quarters, years, decades, a decade? I think at this point, most people, the consensus opinion, we're well under a decade time frame for this. More likely a matter of years. Brace for impact. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.